Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. We have an update this midday. Sioux Falls police have released the name of the person killed in a hit and run Friday night on the northwest side of the city. Police say it was 24-year-old Skylar Yellow Eagle who was hit by a white truck when he was trying to get his vehicle out of the ditch near Marion Road and Bentgrass Street. Officers were able to find the truck involved in the crash. However, investigators are still trying to figure out who was driving. If you have any information about the truck, you are encouraged to call police. Firefighters in Millbank were kept busy yesterday with a barn fire southwest of town. The Grant County Sheriff's Office posted pictures of the scene to Facebook. Officials say it happened just after 5 o'clock Monday afternoon. Firefighters arriving on scene worked to stop additional damage to a trailer, tractor, and a shed that is under construction. Officials say goats were inside the barn, but they did survive. Grant County Emergency Management adds that older, historic barns burn very rapidly. Turning to weather, we have chances for rain and snow before too long. Let's check in with our friend Adam, who will tell us when and where.
Well, right now it's out in western and south central portions of South Dakota. But that's going to gradually fill into the north and northeast as we go later into the day, where, as I mentioned at the top of the show, there are winter weather advisories in place. We already have winter weather in Deadwood. It actually looks quite nice, but then you look at the calendar and remember that, we're in the first full day of spring, but that's the Black Hills for you. Either way, roads are going to be slippery. Please be mindful of that, and we're going to likely see some of those slippery roads north of Watertown as we go further to the east. Speaking of Watertown, they're doing pretty well for themselves, rather not too bad. 25 and east wind at 11 miles per hour, but to the north of Watertown, toward Highway 12, that's where we have the advisories in place. It's also where they're a little bit cooler. 22 in Aberdeen, 18 right now for Sisseton, 31 in Mitchell, 28 for Brookings, 37 here in Sioux Falls. Compare that to the 26 in Rapid City, 33 as you head into Pine Ridge. There's the winter weather advisory, basically running from Roberts County to Corson County along the North Dakota border. And this will be through the first part of your night tonight, where you can see a couple of inches of accumulating snowfall, not to mention slippery roads as well. So keep that in mind as we head toward the evening commute. There's the snow right now moving east of Rapid City, east of Spearfish as well. Like I had mentioned before, also, Pierre could get in on a couple of flurries as we go into the afternoon, but this will redevelop as we head later into the day. Highs today, speaking of which, ranging from the upper 30s to the upper 40s, depending on where you are in southeastern KELOLAND. We could even toe the line of 50 in Yankton, something that we have not done yet in Sioux Falls. We haven't hit 50 this year. 32 in Sisseton for your high today, 30 toward Aberdeen, a better chance for snow up that way in the northeastern corner of South Dakota. And to the west, well, it depends on where you are. North of Highway 14, we'll get into the 20s and 30s. South of that highway, and by extension I-90, we get into the 40s to near 50. Everybody is a little more uniform on Wednesday on the thermometer. We'll talk about that and go through the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Adam. It's no secret South Dakota State University has a big emphasis on agricultural studies, which is why the Raven Precision Agriculture Center is so important to campus. The center opened its doors to students and staff in 2021. The building hosts between 8,000 to 10,000 students from the 6 ag majors on campus. Project manager Colin Galswick says one of the many goals of the center was to bring students from all academic backgrounds under one roof.
There's a lot of collaborative space in this building, and that was intentional because they wanted to bring both departments into the building. You got faculty from both departments, office side by side. They wanted that interaction between the departments, the students, the grad students, and then also the industry that they want to bring in.
Did the building cost me?
In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Renee Ortiz looks into the Raven Center and what the building provides for students and SDSU. Minnesota is moving to strengthen its status as a refuge for patients from restrictive states who travel to the state to seek abortions. The State House voted 68 to 62 to prohibit enforcement in Minnesota of laws, subpoenas, judgments, or extradition requests from other states against people who get, perform, or assist with abortions in Minnesota. This is potentially related to a Texas law that deputizes individuals to enforce their state's restrictions by allowing them to sue anyone who helps a patient obtain an abortion elsewhere. Law enforcement in New York City, Washington, D.C., and around the country are watching to see if former President Donald Trump is indicted and what reaction, if any, there will be to that. Jared Hill reports from New York.
Barricades are in place outside the criminal courthouse in Lower Manhattan ahead of possible protests in support of Donald Trump. A New York grand jury is considering whether to indict the former president and current 2024 presidential candidate in connection to a hush money payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels back in 2016. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is leading the investigation into allegations Trump may have falsified records to hide the payment. Trump has denied any wrongdoing, and his Republican allies are calling on Bragg to submit testimony on what they call a politically motivated prosecutorial decision.
Some bookkeeping error from 7 years ago is misdemeanors now what they're going after. So it makes absolutely no sense.
These barricades are up in part because Mr. Trump himself predicted he would be arrested today and called on his supporters to protest.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Trump also called for protests ahead of the violent January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
I've never seen people so intent on doing so much damage like they did at the Capitol. It makes this protest and this group of people a greater threat than normal.
On Monday, the grand jury heard testimony from attorney Bob Costello, a longtime Trump ally. He was brought in to testify about the credibility of Michael Cohen, Trump's former fixer, who admitted to arranging the payment to Daniels. It's unclear when the grand jury will complete its work and reach a decision. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Trump blasted Cohen on social media today, with the former president saying, quote, "In the history of our country, there cannot have been a more damaged or less credible witness at trial than fully disbarred lawyer and felon Michael Cohen."